Hi there, and welcome to Reykjavik, Iceland again. This is Valur, your friend in Reykjavik. And today we're going to talk about the happiness index of Iceland and why Iceland is such a, always scores in the top five of the happiness report. And we're going to talk about why that could be. We're going to talk about the favorite saying of Iceland, which is Þetta, reddast. We'll talk a little bit more about that, which is everything will be okay. We'll figure things out. And with me today is Perla, which is one of our guides of Your Friend In Reykjavik. Does some more like food tours and more with us. And she's also she's been doing lectures about happiness and about productivity and motivation and stuff. And so welcome, Perla.
Thank you. Hi, really nice to be with you here today. Thank you, Valur, for inviting me.
Yeah, glad to have you on board. It's so great to have more of my guys to talk about their expertise and one of your expertise is kind of like how to have a good outlook on life.
Yeah, that's a really good point. I really enjoy that. I think it was like a big step for me when I was actually 8 years old. I already started to think about your attitude towards life. Like, okay, maybe your attitudes, is something that you can control and something that is actually a really big thing in your life. So I only recently discovered that I was thinking about this so early because I was actually at my mom and dad's house like three years ago, and we were doing things in the garage, like taking big boxes and dividing things that you could throw away and stuff. And I found a
Clearing the
book.
garage.
Sorry.
Clearing the garage, or
Absolutely, yeah. Well, you have to do it, right? So I found a book that I wrote in at when I was 8 years old only. And in this book, it was like a diary of an 8-year-old kid. Oh, very dramatic. And I wrote, I only had written one page of this book. And it simply said, with very lovely letters of an 8-year-old me, I have decided to be positive because it's much more fun than to be negative. And yeah, it's kind of cute that I was already thinking about it then. And when I saw this a few years back, I'm like, wow, this is cool. I was thinking about this only 8 years old, and this has somehow, been my kind of, I don't know, vision in life, you can say. So it definitely is still helping me today to think about this. And yeah, I've been lucky. I've been, talking with people about this. So
why do you think you started to think about this, negative versus positive outlook on life at such a young age? Did your parents teach you all about that, or did you have a grandma that was talking about the positive outlook of life?
It's a really good question. I think it's definitely that. I have really cheerful parents, you can say. They're actually in a band called the Cheerful Band now in their 70s. So I definitely get it from them. And my grandmother, actually, once you said her name, I was like, yeah, my grandma too.
Did they have the cheerful band, like a music band, like a?
Like I can see your guitar there hanging. My dad has a very similar one, and they are, six together in the band, and they play very cheerful music. So this is something that I got. I think just it's in my blood, kind of, to just have this positive and cheerful, mindset in life. So it's been my vision for a long time. I think I couldn't shake it off.
Yeah, but with with the positive, there's a negativity, but you're obviously aware of the negativity. I want to be positive, not negative. So
absolutely. And because I'm human, like all of us, like everybody's here is human. So this is like a constant, I don't know if you want to use the word battle, because it's not always possible to be only happy towards life. It's like you can't do that, and you would be fooling yourself if you would only do that all the time. So you are aware that it's you have all kinds of emotions, and that's normal. Just to point that out in the early, state, you can't always be just 100% happy, but you can always choose to use the mindset and the attitude that you can choose. Actually, you don't have to. You don't have to just completely let go of everything and just this just happened to me, okay, it did happen, but I can actually choose how I look at it. Can I learn from that? Can I change something that I did so I can do it better in the future? You can really have effect on these things. So that's kind of what I'm talking about when I say that I'm very positive. It's the mindset and the attitudes and the little choices that I make every day towards that. But if you ask my boyfriend, he would be saying, yeah, Perla, she's not happy all the time,
Of course, it's a constant battle. You're always trying to have a positive outlook and try to, but of course, sometimes things derail you, and yeah, you can spend some time in negativity, but yeah, but it's about trying to steer towards the right or the good.
Yeah, and I think it's a matter of practice. Actually, I was lucky. I was raised quite as a happy kid. Then we can choose our mindset, Perla. You can do it. Try to look in the positive in every situation. I was lucky with that. But there are people in life, for example, that would like to become more positive or have a bit more good attitude towards life, and they maybe are thinking, how can I do it now? Is it too late for me? And I would not say so. I would definitely say that this is a matter of do you want it enough? Do you want to practice it? Do you want to take the step? Do you really want it, or is it just I would like to be happy, but you really have to want it and put in some work to do it, and I believe that's possible. I've seen two of my really good friends, actually, they've shifted in life. So I think there's a hope for everybody there. You don't need to get all the cheerful band as your parents or something. It's yeah.
So it's good or better to have the cheerful band behind you, but but it makes it a little bit more easier,
Yeah, you can say so.
But I've seen also people that have kind of like changed their mindset a little bit, like these micro decisions that you take daily, that you're should I be offended if somebody cuts me off, or something happens in the grocery store, these little decisions every hour or minute.
Absolutely.
Or whatever.
And once you mention grocery stores, like for me, for example, I get a lot of joy out of making other people receive some joy. So it can sometimes turn into kind of a loop, it can be a loop. You can be stuck in a loop of negativity, but I want to get stuck in a loop of good vibes and good attitude and kindness. So I sometimes try to start that loop. For example, in the grocery store, like, why not say something to the person standing next to you, or hey, I can help you with that, whatever. So I try to challenge myself with these little moments in life. Can I add something here? Can I add some good energy to this situation? Sometimes I cannot, it's too difficult, but sometimes you actually can. And it's nice to actually see the loop kind of, I did put a smile on that person's face. Maybe that person will put a smile on some other person's face. So you can, I think you should never forget how much choices and how much power you have to control your life and others around you. Like, send little happiness loops on their way, jump on these chances. So I challenge myself often in that kind of situations.
Yeah, I think it's a good helpful attitude towards life, to think about it, to really think about it, and try to make these little waves go.
Absolutely, little waves. I like that. Absolutely.
Well, what do you think about why is it that Iceland is always scoring so high on the happiness index? And like I'm going to show you, like, guys, now
Yeah.
This is the recent survey done about the happiness index, and Iceland
Yeah.
is there number 2 after Finland, and the top 3: Finland, Iceland, and Denmark. Last time this was done, we were in seat 4, but we've always been in top scores of this happiness index, and there are various factors that filter into the happiness index. But why do you think, Perla, that we score so high?
That's a really good question, and there are definitely few factors that come into that. I think where should we start? I think it comes a lot towards your attitude in life. But maybe before that, here in Iceland, we are quite lucky when it comes to a lot of ways. Now, we had to put in some work to be able to have this good society. Now, it wasn't like this only 100 or 200 years ago. Mm-hmm. But now things are actually looking quite good here in Iceland. We have quite good social welfare system. We have quite good hospitals and education system, and it's a small community. You can really a lot of people, because you know everybody, kind of, not obviously not everybody, but it's a small society. Mm-hmm. So there's these factors, of course, score extremely high, I would say. Mm-hmm. But then there are some other factors that definitely come in as well. I think actually, when were people asked this question? When was this? Was it done in the mid of winter, or was it done in the bright summer night?
Well, I think it helps, of course, if the survey is done in the middle of summer. Yes. But there are also factors there. People say that we are, we have the long winters here, we get depressed, and we do. But we also get a lot of creative in the wintertime. A lot of people are, one in 10 Icelanders writes a book in his lifetime. Yes. A lot of musicians out there, a lot of artists, and
absolutely.
And so it's not just all dark and gloom in the wintertime. No. It's also a part where you go into your cocoon and create. Yeah.
So that's a really good point, actually. Absolutely. And you can use these this time and this darkness and these motions to do something creative. I mean, that's beautiful. For example, all of my friends right now are they are artists when it comes to knitting. They are making sweaters and all kinds of stuff for their whole family through the winter time. It's like, it's winter, let's get to the knitting work.
So it's not just COVID times. Everybody learns to knit while they're in quarantine and lockdowns and whatnot. Okay, now I need to learn to knit.
Yeah, exactly. I feel like I'm not, I'm like always thinking, I really need to learn how to knit. I'm like, it's a really big thing right now. So it's a really good point that you're making. It can actually, make us get to more touch with our artist side in a way,
But the most common saying in Iceland is called Þetta reddast.
Yes. It's a lovely saying. I love it. I use it a lot.
Yeah, and this is like if something is tells you about what the heart and soul of Iceland is this saying, because Þetta reddast, everything, it will all work out okay. We will figure things out. We'll come together and overcome this obstacle. And I think it comes into what you were talking about earlier. Iceland was a poor farming society and struggled hard on this rock, trying to survive. And
absolutely, and it's not that long ago, even.
Yes, just 100 years, beginning of the 19th century, when finally Iceland started using all the fishing resources around us. And but I think this is a little bit of ingrained in us that we will figure things out. We'll come together when there's hardships, even though we sometimes disagree with a lot of things.
Yeah.
When excuse my language, shit hits the fan, we come together and overcome it. We'll support it. So
I think it's a really good point. it's really deep in us. I think almost everybody that I know use this phrase, and they mean this phrase. They're not just only saying it, they believe that this is how it's done. They've seen it a lot happen, and they believe it's, it's gonna be like that in the future. So we say it and we mean it. And I don't know, it's I don't think we are too we don't like to plan things very much like Excel is not our best friend, if you know what I mean. The Excel, we are like, yeah, this will, don't worry about it too much. This will all be fine, And I think it's actually, it can get too far, believe me. But in the bigger picture, I think this is actually really helpful in many ways. It actually can lower our stress level a bit, because you're not like too tense about everything, like I have to do. And we think, okay, I don't have the solution now, but it will maybe come later if I discuss it with more people. So we're also a bit hopeful. So it affects a lot of good qualities that make us feel good, I think. So it's a really nice saying, actually.
Yeah, but it doesn't always, like you said, it's not always the greatest, because sometimes we are too late in reading for an exam or preparing for some work. Þetta reddast until it's kind of like looming
like,
over.
Really? Will it reddast?
But for example, like in Denmark and in Germany, you have to plan like weeks ahead. In week 34, I can have guests. But here in Iceland, Þetta reddast, we just show up, and people are, it's more relaxed than that way. And that, I think, that's also part of that Þetta reddast. We don't, we don't like to plan too much ahead, but still with this optimism that everything will figure things out.
Exactly. And if you think about it, when you do things like that, you kind of leave some space, if you can say so, for something, fun to happen, like, because it's not all planned and all figured out. Sometimes some surprise pops up, or events turn out even more great, because we kind of it's not all set in stone. So it can turn things out greater. Also, like I said, the other way, but it usually really works out well for this mindset, I would say.
This is a sort of like stubborn optimism. Like we will overcome anything, even though it looks dark. And we have several like fun sayings like this. For example, kvalreki. What's a kvalreki? So if you win the lottery, for you guys out there, if you win the lottery or something great happens to you, it's a kvalreki. And what does that translate to? It's the beached whale. It's a whale that died by your farm, and it's like a sign from the gods or good things. So kvalreki is it plays into this optimism thing.
Absolutely. You can see, there are symptoms in this, in few places. This optimistic in us, kind of. It's just, I mean, if you just think about our ancestors, like if they wouldn't have some hope and optimism in them, like we would never be sitting here, like in these nice houses, and it's heated up with they had to have it. Honestly, I sometimes can't get my mind out of how difficult it must have been 200-300 years back here in Iceland. So hope and optimism, and just you have to believe that that things will get better. You have to really keep your hope up, and I think it's just really in our blood to think like that, and it's good. I think it's only pushing us further.
So one of the things that struck me about the World Happiness Report is that happiness around the world is decreasing a little bit, and there is more happiness inequality. So a difference, more difference between countries regarding happiness. So What do you think about that? What's causing that?
Yeah, I think. Well, I think there's a lot of things that come in, but I have to admit, I'm sometimes a bit worried about the speed of the society, the modern society that we live in, and for example, how the technology has taken sometimes a bit too much over. I'm quite old-fashioned, if I'm honest. I really love technology, don't get me wrong, but once it kind of overtakes everything, and sometimes you lack maybe deep conversation and communications, and everybody's like hurrying to the next project. I think it can really affect us, and for example, our children, they need to get, they need to have this conversation and this quality time and stuff like that, and television and computers, they, in my opinion, they simply can't do that. Humans are amazing, and we have to remember that, we can never erase that. That's going to be really bad for us. So I actually worry about these things sometimes. So yeah, what do you think?
I do agree. There's
Yeah,
also just, of course, the gap maybe between some of the countries. There's a reason why many of the countries here in the top, if I put that also,
yeah,
Finland, Iceland, Denmark, Sweden, Norway,
yeah,
all here in the top 10 of,
yeah,
and I think it's a part of that. Is that there's a social structure that grabs
yeah,
you
yeah,
if something happens, you're not just
absolutely.
left alone,
Yeah.
and you just need to so there's more like a sense of community, like
Oh
like
yeah, that's a big factor.
mm. And
Also, I know, yeah, please, yeah,
so more, one of the factors, of course, equality.
yeah,
We pride ourselves of the Icelandic quality. Um,
absolutely.
any thoughts about that? The equality of Iceland regarding
Yeah,
women
I was
and men?
actually I was actually going to point that exact same point out when I was scrolling down the countries. I think they have many of them have a lot in common, that the sexes, both the female and male, have a saying, and get similar wages for their jobs, and stuff like that. So, and they both are, raising the kids, for example, and so on, because yeah, this is a really, I'm a lady here in Iceland, I'm a woman here in Iceland, so I'll just say it. I think this is really important, and I think this is a really big factor, that this is for first, it's maybe difficult for people, for countries to develop in that angle, but once you can see it's blooming, the equality of the sexes, it's a beautiful society for everybody,
Mhm.
female,
Yeah,
male, kids.
and yeah, no, of course, it helps that if you feel like you're included, and there is equality, and that you know that you're equal pay. Like Iceland was on one of the first countries in the world to demand that companies with over 25 employees, they need to
Yeah,
provide the data that they're paying equal pay to both
yeah,
men and women, for example.
exactly,
So by
exactly.
showing these factors, showing these steps, that yeah, we're this is not all talk. It's all
Yeah,
also
yeah,
trying to,
we put it in proof. You have to prove that you're doing this. Absolutely.
yeah, you have to walk the walk, not just talk the talk.
Yeah, exactly,
Uh,
exactly. No, this is
there
a
are
really
also,
big factor. I'm glad that you mentioned it.
yeah, there are also like things like low crime levels. Of course,
Yeah,
most of these countries that are
yeah,
top have low crime levels. Um,
absolutely. I
some
had this conversation with my friend the other day. I actually always lock my door and stuff, but honestly, still in Iceland, in the capital, not in the countryside only, also in the capital, people are not locking their doors. I was actually a bit shocked. I'm like, really? Come on, it's 2021. You really need to start locking your door. She's like, why? Like, there's no need. I'm like, well, yeah, we had a conversation just 2 days ago about this for like about 1 hour. So
Mhm.
it's still you think it's that safe that you don't need to lock the door, but come on, people, lock your doors just in case. But this is in generally what we discuss sometimes, here, right here in Reykjavik, So
I know it, like in the Westman Islands where I'm from, they never lock the doors. It's just like a factor. I know it's probably growing here. We have some burglaries and stuff like that, of course. But many are just used to that, coming from the small towns and just
absolutely,
doing the same things that they did there, and
of course this affects your lifestyle. I mean, if you can just be relaxed when you're walking down the street, you can have your baby in the carriage, what do you call it, like in the baby wagon. What is the name of this? People put their babies to sleep outside in front of a coffee house, for example, in Reykjavik. This you can see very often. Of course, this will affect you. You feel safe. You feel that you can just enjoy your day without thinking about all these, things. So it's gonna definitely affect this welfare and happiness feeling.
Yeah, that's some things that foreigners have a hard time understanding. There's a baby outside in the stroller, and
there's nobody,
there's nobody there, and
why is this baby here?
Why is it? Did somebody leave it there? And no, it's just he's having a coffee there and inside,
and are just chilling in the coffee house, relax,
But it's not all like if we talk a little bit also about the darkness of Iceland. We have a high use of antidepressants, for example, here in Iceland. A lot of people are depressed, especially like I know several people. I'm included, for example, that during the worst months, like January, February,
a
bit harder when it's full dark and after Christmas you have to pay for all the Christmas gifts.
Valid. I need to stop you for 1 second. My cat here is screaming to get me to open the door. I'll show you the cat first, and then I'm opening him out. So 1 second.
No problem. I'm gonna tell you a couple of fun sayings that we have here.
Here's my cat. Just wanted to say hi. We have a lot of cats in Reykjavik, so this was actually just a little extra treat to see one of the cats in Reykjavik.
That's a fluffy cat.
Oh, it's a really fluffy cat, and he actually chose my home as his future home. So I didn't even buy the cat. The cat chose me.
So he just showed up.
He did. Yes, I'm gonna let him out. He's going a bit crazy over here.
Some people are saying that we're using too much medicine, antidepressants and stuff to deal with the darkness, and too many doctors are prescribing drugs instead of just telling people to be more outdoors and exercise and stuff like that. So we love to use per capita per person in Iceland.
Absolutely, yes.
And unfortunately, that's also sometimes not good for us, because per capita we're using the most drugs of any nation, like medicinal. So a couple of people are saying here, beautiful cat. I have 8, Deborah.
Nice, Deborah. I love it. So regarding that, I think it's a really good point. Like, how can we maybe interfere at an earlier stage to prevent these, try to prevent depressions and so on, and how to stop earlier in the stage before you get that just mentally drained or whatever is going on. And
you've been sorry for interrupting. You've been doing lectures for young kids, like for
I have actually about just your mindset and attitude towards life, and how you can affect yourself and the life of others to just live a more meaningful and happy life. So I've been really much enjoying that. And kids are, teenagers are so open-minded, and if you get to them, it can be so rewarding, to discuss this matter. Like you say, if you can reach out to these people at an earlier stage, that's brilliant. And for example, here in Iceland, we are we're lucky with how the nature is all around. For example, for me, nature gives me so much joy and just strength in life. I get so inspired by nature, but everybody needs to find their, like, what is fulfilling for me. Where it's like your phone. It's sometimes dead. It needs to get charged. How can I charge me as a person? There must be some things that just really let me glow, like let me get my energy back. So we discuss these things and so on. So if you think about these things, and you really effectively try to bring it into your life, and just these little habits, like you say, when it comes to nature, when it comes to what you're seeing on social media. I'm very picky on what I let into my phone. For example, on my Instagram, I choose to put stuff there that is inspiring me, instead of, I really don't enjoy filling my phone that's in my pocket all the time with only negative things. It's too much power that I give to negativity. However, I have a choice to choose what I let in here. You know what I mean? These little things, you can really, if you want to think about these things, and like I said in the beginning, if you really want it enough, like, how can I change my lifestyle when it comes to this? I think it's really possible to do it.
I do agree, and I think it's one of the factors that is why Iceland is such a scoring so high on the happiness index, is that fortunately we have this beautiful nature, and people are using it more, doing more outdoor stuff. There are more bicycle lanes there. So I think that for sure helps for a lot to have that access to.
Absolutely. Oh, and I have to mention, once you said that, the swimming pools. Oh gosh, I think they're like, we're so happy with our swimming pools. We're lucky with them. They're all around. There are more than hundreds of them. Every little village has a swimming pool, and it's kind of like an outdoor spa. Like, I know so many people. I was talking about what is your recharger, what is charging you, and so many people say swimming. I try to go. Not even just swimming, literally, just like relaxing at the swimming pool.
Soaking in the hot tubs. That's
The hot tubs. Honestly, this, I think, affects us a lot. Just to be able to go out in the fresh air, in the hot water, and simply just relax and chat with some random people in the hot tub about whatever, politics, weather. So I think, honestly, this should be on our list.
The most common topic in Iceland, the weather, changes every 5 minutes.
For sure.
But Kim
I'm
is asking,
surprised you haven't mentioned it already, how lovely the weather is right now.
Yes, I was enjoying a walk with a couple of people, like travelers. Finally, Iceland is people are starting to book and travel to Iceland, so it was a really lovely stroll here. I was telling them folklore stories at the graveyard here. In excellent weather. It was just such a this recharges me.
Absolutely, I'm happy to hear.
But Kim is asking, why do you think the crime rate in Iceland is so low? Is it owing to the system of punishment and reform of criminals in Iceland, and how effective it is? For me, Kim, I think it's just based on that. Like we said, everybody knows everybody a little bit. It's a little bit. That's a point. But unfortunately, there is a rise in organized crime in Iceland. There are some groups, coming from abroad sometimes, and so it's causing, we have to be aware of that. But the crime rates, is low, just based on we are pretty. Most of us are sensible people. Usually it's maybe like the burglaries and stuff like that. Is drug related or alcohol related? You need something like that. But
Yeah.
what do you believe, Perla, about
I
the
think
low
it's
crime rate?
yeah. I think I agree with the things you said. It's a bit. I think it's a big thing how few how everybody know everybody. When I say everybody, I say it like this: everybody know each other, and you
Mhm.
have and you really want to watch out for your reputation here. Like you really want to. This is something as actually reputation is a big thing here in Iceland. We have written it in our oldest ancient sagas about reputation, and when a society is so small, it's the word gets out like this, if you know what I mean. So people are like, "Oh, I need to," Also, we're simple as that. We're just so few. When you have a smaller nation, fewer people, it's often that you have a bit less problems. I just think that's also one big factor of it.
Yes.
Yeah.
From Hávamál, one of the Icelandic sagas.
Yeah.
It's talking about, so you need to protect your name, and you need to I'm trying to now find the right
Words, yeah.
quote where it is. But yeah, basically, yeah, you have to. It's such a small knit community that you. I think that's a factor that you don't want to. It's so easy for people to know things if something happens. So
Exactly. Let me see. I might have it. I'll try to look into it. You think about the next question. I'm trying to see if I find it in English.
yes, I was gonna tell you more.
Yeah.
So low crime levels, natural beauty, a love of literature. That's also one of the things. Reykjavik has been named the UNESCO City of Literature. Like I said earlier, 1 in 10 writes a book in his lifetime.
Yeah.
A lot of people say that storytelling and these, plays a little bit of a part in. We love to tell stories. We love to hear stories. We love to read stories. So there's a reason why 66% of Icelandic homes has a Netflix account. We binge watch TV and
Me too.
read. Yes, 66, 2/3 of the population have a Netflix account.
Classic for Iceland, like very high numbers, like per capita.
So did you find it in English?
I did. Let me see. It says in English, cattle die and kinsmen die, thyself too soon must die, but one thing never, I ween, will die, fair fame of one who has earned. This is it's a really old Icelandic being translated to an old English kind of. But they are basically saying that the reputation that you are getting in life, if it's a good one or a bad one, you might die, but that will never die. And this is written. It's written probably in the 12th century. Yeah, so it's really old, and it's really much in our nation to keep this in mind. I would say, yeah. It's from the North mythology. Yeah.
Poetic Edda.
Yeah, exactly.
So, do you have any questions for us guys out there? Do you have anything that you are thinking about?
Yeah, we would love to hear.
I see Michelle is here, and Stephen, and Anne, and Kim, and Adrian.
Adrian is saying, it's so nice to get people from all over the world to meet us here. Very grateful for it.
Yeah, it's one of the fun things that's I've had out of COVID is that I'm just all of a sudden have friends all over the world that you wouldn't think that you would increase that during COVID times, but that
yeah, exactly. It's a really good point. Absolutely.
Adrian is saying, I think your close family bonds has been significant in building this type of society. And yeah, that's for sure.
Yes, really good point.
We are a tight-knit society, and there are family gatherings like Ættarmót,
Yes.
where you come with your nephews and nieces, and everybody basically come together at one place during the summer, like for a weekend.
Absolutely.
And, so you're meeting people that you don't meet like every 2 years, every 4 years. Depends on the family. Do you do that? Like, is your family meeting like a?
Yes, we have this absolutely. Like once every 2 summers or so, we do this, and this is brilliant. And it's really funny. Like, for example, for me, the first thing that I do when I meet a person for the first time, I think everybody has this in common in Iceland. You probably know what I'm going to say. You're meeting someone for the first time, and you're like, "Oh, hi, Perla here. Nice to see you." And then you start to ask, like, which town are you from? Okay. Do you know this person? You try to connect at least one person that both of you know, so that you can kind of connect. And it could be a person from your family, your aunt or whatever, or just a friend or a person that you were in school with, or yes, he's a friend of my friend and it's really rare that you can't find at least one person. Sometimes you feel a lot of person. I know this and this, this is how we connect, and we do it all the time, and everybody does it,
Yes. Hverra, and the most common saying of the older generation, hverra manna ertu?
Yes.
Whose people are you?
Yes.
Who's your father?
Who are you belonging to?
You're from the northeast. Okay.
Absolutely.
Then they figure out some connections.
Yeah, it's difficult if we choose this subject more even than the weather. I think they go hand in hand, the weather or the connections of the family members or friends.
Yeah. If you're meeting a person that you haven't met already, or who's your people? Who are you connected to, and where from? Olivia is saying, would you say Iceland values simplicity? I feel like more importance is placed on its people and lifestyle, whereas in other countries like the US and Canada, importance is placed on money and work.
Okay.
I think it's a little bit of both, to be honest.
Yes, I agree.
We are a little bit workaholics.
We can definitely go too far there. Absolutely.
Many people in Iceland have 2 or 3 jobs just to make ends meet, and because it's very expensive here.
It is. Yeah.
Most things. So
I think we could definitely step up our game a bit when it comes to simplicity, and I think a lot of people are kind of getting there more and more, but it's still, if we're honest, it's still a thing here to get a lot of money and buy the nice things and stuff like that, because also they're how it is, there are always good things and bad things about everything. And for example, when you live in such a small society, one of the factors also you're always, what is the word, like svona bera þig saman.
Compare yourself to others.
You're always comparing yourself a bit to others because you're not that many. We sometimes are aiming. A lot of people are aiming in the same direction here. I'm sometimes like, come on, we don't all have to get this car. We don't all have to get this, shape of some piece you put in your apartment or whatever. We can go a bit too far there, if I'm completely honest.
Yeah, we're sometimes we're a little bit hive-minded in certain aspects.
Yes.
But I think I do agree with you. I think more people are mindful of that and trying to. It's not the person who has the most toys at the end of his life. It's more the life it's lived.
Yeah. I agree. I think we're getting there one step at a time. I can feel that people are going more towards that vision in life.
Mm-hmm. So Hayden is asking, how is art valued in Iceland?
Okay, good question. What do you think?
I would say high, because
Yeah,
we really like to really like to have public art on display in Reykjavik, for example. There are sculptures and all kinds
absolutely.
of arts, and uh, is the if you're talking about monetary value, like how, I'm not sure if um, you know, but Icelandic sculpturists, Icelandic painters,
Yeah,
and more are
musicians. Yeah,
doing pretty well.
yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Yeah,
And we are artistic, like we said earlier. So I think more people, value and gain some goodness from just looking at art. And
yeah.
so yeah, a lot of people go to like shows and
Hmm.
theater
Yeah,
and
yeah, theater is a big thing here, and
yes.
music as well. And like you told earlier about every 10th Islander giving out publishing a book. There are these. Uh, in many aspects, I think art is highly valued in Iceland. Yeah, I would agree on that.
Mhm. I got an interesting question here. Do you think an influx of
Mhm.
immigrants can damage the way of life in Scandinavian countries?
Okay,
Uh, That's a pretty hard
the
question,
tough one. I would agree on
or
that.
a hardcore question, but
Yeah, but you can't close your eyes up over all difficult things. You must, challenge yourself. So it's good to challenge ourselves with this one.
yeah,
Uh,
I for sure, I do think that it can affect us, of course. Uh, there are some countries, like for example Sweden, that
mhm.
have a little bit of a difficulty in certain areas,
Yeah.
because the culture of the immigrants kind of like, they don't assimilate with the rest, and they don't have to. I'm not saying that they have to assimilate perfectly, but
Yeah.
it can change a little bit of the dynamics, and
Yeah.
sometimes it's good, but it can also be bad. Like for
Yeah.
example, like we mentioned earlier about these organized crime groups that are uh, like having a little bit of more foothold in Iceland.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, I'm not. Sometimes they come from abroad. They are like people
Yeah.
that are moving here from abroad, and and they have like connections to bigger organizations there, and that
Mm-hmm.
causes problems for us here in
Mm-hmm.
Iceland, of course, because
Mm-hmm.
our police are not many. We are not.
Yeah.
We don't have the police was asking, for example, for more funds to approach this problem, that this is a growing
Mm.
problem. So
Yeah,
so
I know what you mean. Yeah, I know what you mean. I agree in many ways. It's really a difficult subject because there's so many good things as well, which happen once you open up your country a bit. Like Valor is saying, like you're saying, like there. And I said earlier, there are always two sides of every story. This is a classic example of that, because there are definitely. I would never want to go back and close the country off for immigrants. I think that would be a bad idea. And we get so many, cultural things, wider, angle of life, food related stuff. There's so many beautiful things that open up. But
Mhm.
yeah, there are two sides of every story, and sometimes there are problems in this field as well. So
Mhm.
yeah, we just need to it's a challenging question, like we said. Delicate
Yeah,
matter.
yeah, it causes certain friction, and we need
Mhm.
to just be mindful
Yeah,
and
yeah.
take cautious steps, because, as I said, for example, Iceland is a very small community, only 370,000 people. Uh,
Mm.
of that, about 15% is now immigrants.
Yeah.
So, most come from Poland, for example.
Yeah.
So this causes, certain things that we just need to adapt to.
Yeah, I think that's the key. Adapt and be a bit open-minded towards it, and look at always both sides of it. Sometimes I've seen people, for example, get too stuck in the negative sides, and I think that's really bad, and it's gonna only make things worse. It's never gonna make us. It really needs to look at both ways, and just be open-minded, like you say. How can we use it, like we can all grow and all live together, just in respect and happiness. Yeah.
So Stephen is saying Denmark has hygge, Sweden has lagom. Does Iceland has anything similar? Or what we use the most, what my sons call, is that we can have that small cozy.
Yes. I use that word too. Cozy. Yeah, exactly.
So that's our version of hygge, cozy. Just straight from English, basically. So
yeah, we sometimes steal words from the English. Absolutely. Thank you, guys.
Enjoying a nice afternoon, or with preferably before my boys, they like to have a little bit candy and.
Oh yeah, definitely. I think most Icelanders really enjoy some candy.
Michelle is asking, you're volunteering. You're a volunteer of the search and rescue teams here.
Yes, I am actually. Yeah, it's a good question.
That's actually a really nice angle, because a lot of people are volunteering to be part of this, where you don't get any pay for trying to run up to the mountain to save a person if he gets lost in a blizzard. Why are so many doing that in Iceland? Why do you do that?
Really good question. Why do I do it? No, I'm joking. No, it's a really good that you came into this, because this is actually a big thing here in Iceland. The Icelandic search and rescue team, it's called, and it's really big. It's like an umbrella thing, and then you have like stations all over the country. I'm, for example, stationed in Kópavogur, which is the next town connected to Reykjavík, and we are, I think, about 300 there only in this station, and then there are thousands all over the world. All over Iceland. I was gonna say, and our mission is basically to rescue people when they need help, and it's very much related to bad weather. For example, we have that in Iceland, if you didn't know, and especially up in the highlands and in the mountains and on the glaciers and so on. And now, for example, we have this volcano going on just 45 minutes from the from the capital, and we have a shift there every day. Not only my station, but the stations all over the capital area. We have a shift there, daily shift, that goes on until 1 a.m. actually, just to kind of help people that are coming to see the volcano, making the path clear. Some people get maybe really tired, or they hurt their ankle and so on. So we give first aid and so on. And why do I do this? There's a lot of reasons why. Firstly, I think it's a really good point that Michelle was pointing out. How we can build a community through compassion and togetherness. I am a firm believer in that. What I said earlier, for example, what brings me the most joy in life is when I can help people. If I do it with spreading joy to them, or if I help them when they're in need. I believe in this, and I think this is a really important thing in life if you want to gain your happiness. I'm just gonna say it, pull straight out. Also, I love the outdoors. I am a fan of the outdoors, so this just opens up my opportunity to be more in the outdoors and do something crazy. For example, in one of our exercise trip we had this winter, we decided to simply walk over Langjökull, which is the next biggest glacier in Iceland, on cross-country ski. This is something I would never do personally on my own, because it's difficult, it's dangerous, it's expensive. I cannot do it alone. So it's really opening up my opportunities to do something really challenging and fun. So yeah, I think it's a mix of both these things why I do it, and I'm lucky to be able to take part in it. And we're really proud of this Icelandic search and rescue team. We really are. When people go up in their living room and just want to have a cozy time, with a candy and like, oh, it's too much wind outside, we go out like, yeah, let's get it done.
Yeah, like there's a popular saying here: there's no bad weather, there's just bad clothing. You just put on more layers and just get out there. And usually the weather looks a lot worse if you look outside from the window, and then when you arrive outside, it's much better when you're just in the weather.
So true. I so agree on that. And you can always put on more layers or move a bit quicker and just choose the attitude you're gonna have in that project. I've often had to do that in the most difficult project. I'm like, this really sucks. Why am I here? Why should I do this? And I'm like, can we think about this in a different way, Perla? Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
So Perla, I think we have had a good chat. We're about an hour in, and
Absolutely.
I think, we have answered most of the questions that have been thrown at us.
Yes.
So for you guys out there, you can think about traveling to Iceland. Me and Perla and more of the guides of Your Friend in Reykjavik. We're looking forward to have you with us on our food tours and folklore and whatnot.
Absolutely.
Yeah, just takk fyrir spjallið. Thank you for the chat.
Takk fyrir spjallið. Thank you so much, Valur. I really enjoyed this, and I really enjoyed your questions. You had a lot of good points and questions, which kind of let me also open up my vision a bit, and I love that. So thank you for that.
Takk. Og bless.
Takk fyrir. Bless.